Hello everyone, it's Jennifer Savari with Paper Crafting Adventures, and today's project that I'm going to be sharing is a compass card that is a trifold window, and the little compass is actually attached to the inside of the card, so when you open it, you still see it through the oval window along with a sentiment. And then when you open it again, there's room for writing or a gift card and another sentiment. Back to the card idea though for just a second is this compass. I made this for somebody who has given me a lot of direction and advice in my life. And it's always a good time to send that person a quick little thank you and just say, hey, thanks for all you've done for me and all the advice. And what's more perfect than a compass for that? It's also a great Father's Day card, so that's why I'm sharing this idea now. So the little compass stamp is from the Let Your Dream Set Sail stamp and die set from Birchpress Design. And I started out by stamping this onto a piece of watercolor paper, and I embossed it with gold embossing powder. Next, I used kind of a bluish green color of Tombow marker and just kind of made a little ring around the inside of that and filled in just where I thought color would be nice. And then I just took a watercolor brush and some water, and I would just kind of move the ink around a little bit, and then I would blot it and then move it again. That's kind of how I watercolor, so that's just how that goes. I also added a little bit of yellow to the inside just for a little tiny, barely noticeable change of color in there. I really wanted this small little stamp to be a big focal image. And the design actually took me quite a while because you've got this stamp that has letters around the outside. It needs that frame that the die cuts out around it. And this is an absolutely gorgeous stamp. I would think it would tend to be more of a background stamp, but I'm using it as a focal image. So one solution that I found was to use the Waves Plate Layer A, cut out of the same color of the watercolor paper so that the colors can kind of complement each other and kind of go together. And you saw how I created a frame just now out of some nested ovals that carried that ivory look through, and putting a dark brown piece back behind that, a darker brown, really makes that little compass pop. Talk about making a small stamp big. So that's what the goal was for this card. I really wanted to use that particular stamp, and so it took a little bit of thinking, but I really love how this card turned out. And it is a trifold card, so I just glued the two regular size A2 cards together, and then I was going to put the front on, of course, but there needs to be an oval cut out as the little compass is going to actually be on the inside of the card. So I just traced where the oval should be cut out, die cut it out, and that created the window that I needed to poke through to see the compass. And I wanted the compass to be a really thick piece, almost like chipboard, and so I die cut 3 pieces total out of watercolor cardstock and glued them all together, and this created a very thick piece that would stand up even more through that window. And so then here you see me just creating a little oval frame like I did on the front out of brown so that it gave it a nice little finished look. And then I just positioned it and marked the bottom of it so that I could now go ahead and stamp and emboss my sentiment. I wanted to make sure that everything was lined up before I stamped on the card, and so I just did a little practice run and then stamped and embossed Grateful to Have You in My Life. And this comes from Birchpress Design's Sending Love stamp set. The next sentiment that you'll see me embossing comes from the Just Because, and both of them are the same fonts. They're two different stamp sets, but both the watercolor paper and this brown have a slight texture to them, and these stamps and their thicknesses and their font make it perfect embossing. And so I was really excited to be able to have both of those messages even on that watercolor paper. And you could see that I tore that paper using a straight edge rather than just cut it. And here's that thanks for always being there. And I also embossed that in the gold as well. So here's the finished card. Open it up, you've got the compass, grateful to have you in my life, and thanks for always being there. There's room for a message, or you could put a little gift card in if this is a Father's Day card, or like I said, this could just be given to somebody who you want to thank for some great advice or just always being there. So for those of you who know me through my videos, here it comes. I do wish I would have spent more time gluing on that wave plate. I can see the glue. I used way too much. I did it too fast. But the good news is I really love this card. I just wanted to mention that because it is a card tutorial. So next time I will be spending more time on that, and I will be making a bunch of these because it's just such a great card to have on hand for so many occasions. But anyway, have a great day. I'd love to hear your comments. If you haven't subscribed and want to see more, make sure you subscribe and hit that little notification bell to be notified when the next video comes up. Have a great day. See you again soon.